Dire team ban.
Welcome back. We've got another round 4 matchup here in the EGE Ontario Dota 2 qualifiers. This one is between Optimates and Relias Gaming. So the timing just happened to work out that we have time for an extra round 4 game before we move on to round 5. There are already some round 5 games actually played. They've been playing concurrently, so it didn't quite all line up. Relias Gaming coming into this one 0-2. Optimates are 1-2. So this is the last game for Optimates. They want to even up to 2-2. Relias wants a win here, not just for pride, but to potentially sneak in, depending on how the scores work out. I haven't been able to see if they're eliminated yet, if they're 2-2.
Slug. Dire team ban.
But let's look at the game here. We've got, in terms of bans, the Skywrath Mage and Tidehunter removed by the Optimates. On Radiant, unlabeled, but that's Relias Gaming, and they have banned Faceless Void and Death Prophet. The picks here are Warlock and Slark for Optimates, and then Sand King and Ogre Magi for the Radiant. So the Sand King Ogre Magi there's a couple interesting things about these two different combinations. One, with the Sand King Ogre Magi, we've got these somewhat tanky dual melee strength supports. I guess it's a bit more in vogue lately, but we'll see how that ends up playing out, or if they try and use Sand King in another capacity, or Ogre Magi in another capacity. It doesn't necessarily have to be both supports. Slark and Warlock. Warlock not providing any sort of lockdown to set up the pounce, and also the Shadow Ward loses a little bit of its value with Slark when he naturally heals so much outside of battle anyway. So I don't see a whole lot of synergy between those two. We'll have to see how the rest of the lineup works around it, and if it can all come together in the end. Our bans for the second round: Wraith King and Doom banned by the Optimates, Dro Ranger and Lich going to be banned by Relias. Mirana very quickly picked up by Relias, had their eyes on her, and they will get her. Again, not great setups. Yeah, between these two supports, they have stuns, but it's not ideal combinations with Mirana compared to some other ones. Centaur going to be grabbed in response. So Centaur with a Blink Dagger, Slark with Pounce and potentially a Blink Dagger of his own. They're looking fairly mobile, but the same could be said with Mirana and Sand King running Blink and Leap. And now Tiny as well, gonna add him into the mix. We're moving very quickly along in this draft. Both sides seem to have an idea of what they want to do. Tiny and Ogre Magi, big fan of that combination. Bloodlust on Tiny. Can't go wrong with that. Vengeful Spirit going to be grabbed by the Optimates. So a very aggressive lineup coming out of Optimates especially, but to a degree Relias as well. So looking for final bans. Necrophos, sorry, going to be one. And the other one, what are we going to round out the bans with? Not a clear pattern from either side for what they're trying to avoid.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Dire, I am wondering whether they will go for just a support Warlock, or if they'll move that into something like a mid and pick up another support with their last pick. Radiant go a few different ways, and they go with Juggernaut.
Dire team pick.
I'm not quite sure how they want to end up laning this. We'll have to see. Optimates, how will you respond to that final pick to round out your lineup? Again, I'm not really feeling the Warlock pick right here. It's not showing how it fits the rest of the team. Maybe this last pick can tell me, can bring it all together. Show me the way.
5 seconds remaining.
It's a lot of reserve time if they want to talk it out, but nope, Spectre it is. So Spectre Warlock, there's the combination. That's where Warlock fits in. They did answer my questions. They do go with that Wombo combo. But what ends up being interesting here is there's not really a lot of kill potential, but Venge is normally more of an aggressive support. We'll see how they end up playing it out, but before we get into any of that, let's talk about our teams. In the upper right on the Dire side, we have, for the Optimates, first out of the gates is Mutation on the Spectre. We'll be joined by Giganuts on the Warlock, and Beyond the Imperative on Vengeful Spirit. Down bottom to the off lane, Space Wolf is on the Centaur, and in mid we have Kin on the Slark. For Relias Gaming, leading the way, we have Column on T, the Tiny, a smoke thrown out there by Bamsky on the Mirana. Slayer plays the Ogre Magi, Baby Co on the Juggernaut, and finally Ryzek on the Sand King.
30 seconds to battle.
Arrow throw, and they catch Space Wolf. They're going in. Blade Fury, and they draw First Blood.
First blood. Better yours than mine.
A great start there for Relias.
The prize is mine.
Space Wolf, after that death, still has the Observer Ward on him. Didn't get the chance to place that in a good location. Will now have trouble placing it inconspicuously to avoid it getting dewarded. We'll see if they have it. I guess we've got an all melee lane down here, so if he places it on the high ground, they don't really have a way to deward it. See what he ends up doing with it, just holding on to it for now. The game has been paused. Some latency issues, it seems. So let's take a look at what everybody is packing. Got Salve, Tango, Stout Shield, Double Branches, no Bottle Rush here. Out of the Slark, and he's up against a mid-tiny. Fun to see. Actually has a bottle for Tangos. And 2 branches after that First Blood. Bamsky has a Salve, Tango, Ring and Protection, Clarity, Mutation. Starting with the Quelling Blade, no Stout Shield for him. Actually grabs a couple Clarities. That's a bit interesting, I feel. And then Beyond the Imperative, Salve, Tangle, Double Branches, Double Clarity. So they end up skipping out on any sort of sentry wards in this situation. Triple melee lane. Fun times. Of course, the way Ogre Magi works, doesn't really feel like melee most of the time. Throws out his spells, and that's about his contribution anyway. But in comes Ryzak. The Burrow Strike, they don't have enough. Burns a salve, but nothing else with that wraparound. Bamsky gonna be offlaning on this Mirana. We'll see Ryzak move back down toward the bottom lane. The pounce, Avalanche in response, and he'll walk away. Not gonna be able to get the kill, but does some nice damage. Pull's being handled by Giganuts, but there's a rotation down already from Bansky. This is really early to be TPing bottom. Not sure if they're planning on shuffling lanes or if they really think this is going to help result in a kill to make it worth it. There's a ping, but this doesn't feel like a really high percentage chance of making this work. Pretty much just has to land an arrow, then they get the kill, but if they don't land the arrow, then that's it. Oh, he's walking into the side shop.
Yes.
Does hit the arrow, but I'm not sure it's in place. There is a wraparound here from Slayer. He only has one spell. He actually went with Bloodlust. That means they're not really going to have any chance to kill him. There's a Blade Fury. He has boots. Space Wolf doesn't, but he's not willing to dive under the tower. Probably a good choice. And that just wasted a tremendous amount of time on Bamsky. Yeah, we're going to have another pause, it looks like. So on top of the CS board, Optimates dominating in tremendous fashion. Not sure what's going on here with Babyco. He's got the safe lane, but not really having as much luck as his safe lane counterpart in the Spectre. 16 last hits for Spectre, 7 for Babyco. Kin second on the board with 16 of his own. Two way out in front. Could get scary quickly, but Space Wolf trapped in the trees has one tango, but nowhere to go. Stomps, but Burrow Strike. Fire Blast, this is it. There's no way he's getting out of this. Oh, he's juking his way through. They didn't keep eyes on him. They go the wrong way. He's going to escape. Hesitation, and now the turnaround. Trying to go for a kill. Doesn't have enough mana for a stomp. I'm not sure how they're going to make something happen without a stomp.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Arrow as Murata comes in. Space Wolf will pay. He was out, but he goes back in and dies. They do get the kill in the end. Another rotation by Bamsky. This time it works. But there's no slowing down the momentum. No slowing down a Mutacion on the Spectre. Still leading the way in CS.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Kalamonte will go down in the river. Arrow hits. Is there a follow-up? Burrow Strike from the high ground. Nice play to take that kill.
Dire's bottom tower is
Gonna
under
chase
attack.
after beyond the imperative. They're not gonna chase up to the high ground, and that'll be the end of that. But they did get a nice kill in the river. TP in from Slayer. We'll see if he ends up able to make anything else happen. No, it looks like they're kind of settling back in a little bit here.
A lucky find.
Hand of Midas picked up for the Spectre. Uncontested, why not? Invis on Kin. Very patient here. Half the rune left. Times the avalanche perfectly. Gonna try and go after him under the tower. Does get the kill with the Dark Pact. Makes good use of that invisibility rune. And has really controlled that mid lane. 22 and 8 up against 8 and 1.
Nice.
Oops, missed that for a little bit. Beyond the imperative, it's rejoined up top.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Pings are going out. But they're not able to commit to anything safely in the trees behind the tower. He really wants to go in, but can't really make
Dire's
anything
middle
happen.
tower is under attack.
Rotation in here from Calamonte. Avalanche, but that's diving under the tower. Got to be careful. The stomp does land, but now Burrow Strike in. Toss. Not enough damage yet. Still chasing. TP's in. They're trying to retreat under Moonlight Shadow. Ryzek got very low, but will get out safely. Nobody dies in that exchange.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Mid tower getting a little low, getting a bit more damage there. No towers down. There's no towers down as of yet. I mean, the Optimates are going to be happy if they can just leave Spectre to farm endlessly, as we have an engagement down bottom. The charge in and burst down for them there. The ult in from Mutacion, and will now just TP back up top. Happy to be a part of the action and then get right back to farming. Midas off cooldown. Come on. You know you want to Midas that creep. There you go. Ping's bottom, we have 4 from Relias down bottom, though. a pull coming out of Ryzek. Tiny just clearing the lane. Ducky into Roche to go invis. Sneaky, but if they were looking there, they would have seen him go in and not come out, which after picking up an invis rune, which may have tipped them off down bottom. Looks like they want to fight. Oh, there's the Blade Fury. The Omni Slash, I mean. And now goes the Roarlack as well. It's 2 for 0. Bit too aggressive there with the entire enemy team was Optimates. But Kin able to find Tiny off a bit on his own, but if he commits to this, his 4 right there does get the kill, and they don't turn it around as the reinforcements come back in. Jigganut's backing up. Kin, Dark Pax jumps back in, doesn't really get the damage he wanted. There's Stampede to chase after them. They have vision, able to bring them down. They get 2 return kills now, chasing under the tower for Ryzek. They don't have vision, but he will stomp him. Under tower, they have to back up.
Out of my way.
Ends up being a trade. 6-6 on the board. And everybody is just gravitating toward this top lane. It looks like Tiny says enough with it and goes up top. Spectre, always happy to do this farm. We have the TP in from beyond the Imperative, perhaps looking to set up a kill. Just the 2 of them there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Despite being 6-6, right now we've got Spectre way out in front in CS, and then Slark next up with a decent lead of his own on the next closest.
Radiant's middle tower
So outside of kills and deaths, Optimates looking, gotta be pretty happy with their position by the numbers. Arrow lands beyond the Imperative, will go down. No way to turn that around just on her lonesome, but in comes Juggernaut to just throw out a Shadow Ward and the chains.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Space Wolf is going to go straight for the hood. Not going to rush Blink Dagger. Not entirely sure that's the way to go, but it's should be all right. Looks like the goal here is to go on the Spectre, the Radiance build, already up to 2,600 gold, looking to get the Relic after already going for the Hand of Midas. Haste Rune bottled by Kin. Despite a few engagements, there hasn't been any real push. We'll have to wait and see who initiates that and when. And here comes the fight, Stampede. They go right on Slayer, able to bring him down. Blade Fury keeps him around and doing a little bit of damage. Didn't throw out the Omni Slash. So it just ends up being a 1 for 0. Now up top, Ryzak burrow strike on 2, but that will not be enough to get away. Even started up the epicenter and canceled it, so loses that time. We'll have to wait for that to cool down. Large cooldown there. Didn't work out. But down bottom, now Space Wolf. There's the Omni Slash. He does get a kill with it. Gotta be careful venturing out on your own with no creeps to support you against Juggernaut. Paid for it there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There's the pounce in. Ends up hitting on Slayer, but will get the kill on Bamski. He's still in danger. Has to back up, but he will survive. Another nice pick off. The pounce off target into the trees. Still trading back and forth. $100 away from that relic.
There is no dishonor in regeneration.
Newly acquired Shadow Blade. Kin gonna pounce on Slayer. Does get the kill. He's in a bit of an awkward position. Got support coming in though. Gonna try and turn this around. Doesn't have pounce until just then gets it. And they get the double kill, and even the ult in from Spectre to join the party. Get a little assist gold out of that. And the relic comes in to boot, so a nice little play there from her.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kin is once again finds Bamski, and that's enough. Slark is up far enough ahead that just being on the map now, very scary with that Shadow Blade.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Arcane boots up for Juggernuts. Always nice to have an extra set on
Radiant's
the team.
top tower is under attack.
After the trading, it's looking to
Radiant's
start
top
to slip a
tower is under
little bit
attack.
away from Relias, so I want to pull it back. I particularly worry once Spectre is ready to start joining some fights outside of a ult-in moral support. Stampede looking. Burrow strike through, epicenter charging up, wants to go for the kill, but no, he's not near anyone, gets a little bit of damage done on Juggernuts. Meanwhile, Omni Slash comes through, nobody has died yet. There we go, down goes Tiny, Burrow strike in, picks up the kill on the Slark. Now gonna try and get out, and looks like he will. Ends up being a 1-for-1. Ryzak in a bit of danger there from the Golem. Some more damage traded back and forth. He's getting low. Shadow Ward able to bring down the Juggernaut.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Still through all of this, Spectre just farming away atop the CS board. About even with Slark on the net worth. Who's just been racking up the kills, even picks up a gem. Alright, Slark back in the action. A small step back there, dying in that fight, but ready to continue to be a menace, but we'll start to farm up just a little bit
Radiant's
first.
top tower is under attack.
And there's the Radiance and Blink Dagger. Same time. The clock is ticking. Tiny is really not farming on the level that he needs to keep up
Dire's middle
here,
tower
especially
is
with the
under
number of
attack.
deaths. He's died 6 times. He's sitting at 3,500 versus 8,200 on the Spectre.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Swap in. Blade Fury away. Tries to trap him in. Pounce hits. They're able to get him. It's all 5 up top for Optimates. As now they're going to look to push down the tier 1 tower top.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The pounce in. They're still fighting under the tower. Another kill. The epicenter goes off but dies amidst it. The wave through, gonna stampede away, double edge and then back off. Can't decide whether to fight or go, but it works out anyway. They still get another kill. Moving through the jungle a little bit dangerous. The way they went through their blind. I guess just looking to pick off the low health heroes, but there were still 4 around that area. Blade Fury doesn't really want to go under tower, but it hits the arrow. Omni Slash doesn't have enough. Looked like he thought that would be enough on its own. Started to walk away before the kill and dies for it. Able to bring down the kill and survive through all of that. And once again, gonna press on this tower. Very little health left, should be no problem. Ryzek gonna have to cover in the trees. And really the Optimates have complete control over the map. As for Elias, that is playing scared. They're down 10 to 20 right now. Arrow hits on Kin. Just a few pot shots and backs away. No way to get the kill without any extra support. Had dust in case of the Shadow Blade, but not really the follow-up damage. In terms of net worth, it's 12,000 the way of the Optimates. XP just over 10. So it's the double whammy going on right now. They've got the snowball effect from Slark as well as the late game farming from Spectre, meaning that it's, if they don't win the game purely off the snowball, that's all right. They're gonna be just fine later on. Kin looking for a spot, looking for a place to jump in, goes there on Bamski. The blink in and stomp from Space Wolf, but the Blade Fury already there, not going to be stunned. Invis on Space Wolf, but they're going to back off. Still looking, blink in, stomp, hits on 2, double edge on Slayer, pounce in. They spend everything on Slayer. Will they be able to follow up? The ult in from Spectre, gonna try and go on column on T, but ends up sacrificing himself in. Does Ryzek in? He goes back in, just sacrificing himself. Don't know what the plan was, but that ends up being all 5 going down for the Radiant. And Relias Gaming
is under attack.
Just very far behind now, even further than they were. It's going to be a tremendous fight to try and turn this around. Got another pause here, but looks like we're ready to get right back into it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'm not sure what the comeback mechanism here is for Relias. Normally you'd look at, say, a big team fight ulti and good coordination there, but without the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, it's going to be incredibly hard to make a big team fight play happen there. And there really isn't much else beyond the Omni Slash, which isn't going to be enough on its own. He's not even level 11 yet, so he's only got the level 1. So it really is a tough spot.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tier 2 bottom is the next target. They're going to Moonlight Shadow into the fight. There's no sentry down. Not sure where the gem is. Dust throw it off. They try and go in. The blink in, but gets caught immediately by the Fire Blast. Chaotic Offering goes down, but Mirana dies first. Ryzak getting focused down. There's 2, 3. This should be 4. And lost behind the action is Juggernaut.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Pounds forward, tries to get the last cast to kill off Space Wolf, but can't do it. Ultra kill the way of Kin.
Tower is under attack.
And that's the tier 2 tower, and that may just be too much. Going to push in and at least do damage to this tier 3 tower, even if they don't take it outright.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
At the same time, we've got split push up here from Spectre, wailing away on the tier 2.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Optimates in complete control of this one. Juggernaut still working on that Battle Fury. Looking rather grim when it's 27 minutes into the game. Say the same on Tiny. Working what is either a BKB or an Aghanim Scepter, but either way, still a long way to go for that.
Selfish.
And there, another one spotted out by Kin. Picks off Slayer, sitting at godlike 18 and 3.
When you saw me coming.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And every time you see that Slark pick, this is what you're hoping will happen. The blink in did finally get it, but just all on his own. I'm not sure what he was looking to do. Gets joined up. Maybe they will be able to bring down Space Wolf. There we go. But there we go, the reality in from Spectre, ready to fight. And that's all 5 dying almost in an instant. This will be the first lane of Barracks down. This will probably be the second lane of Barracks down. We have a disconnect. There is a pause. As there is a disconnect from Tiny. We're very likely not that far off from the end. Not to be pessimistic, but this looks pretty one-sided at this point. Should be 2 Barracks down from this push. Diffusal Blade is on the courier. Status at this point, 25,000, 25,000. There's only so much left to add to this one. The kills stayed even for a little bit in the early game, but the CS went very one-sidedly. The middle lane was dominated by Slark over Tiny. The top lane was uncontested for the Spectre. There was an attempt to rotate around a bit from Mirana. Had mixed results and really didn't make up for the free farm up top. It just became a matter of economy. Just didn't have enough to make it happen. Burrow strike in. But going to be able to just slip away. Arrow gonna follow. Just dodges it. As the Stampede is used to run away. Tiny's still having connection problems.
I'll take that.
Two barracks down. It's going to be... It's an impossible task for Relias to actually come back. It's entirely down to the huge task of Optimates giving it away for this to become a game once again. Otherwise, should pretty much remain a matter of time.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Kin jumping on Bamski. There's one, looking for two. Reality in. There's the second, there's the third. They just can't compete in fights. They're too far behind. Aghanim Scepter on Giganuts. They're gonna wail down on this tier 3, and that'll be that with the mega creeps.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
There's your fight recap.
Radiant's top barracks
as mega creeps are there.
Now have mega creeps.
And now for the final stand. As Relias runs out, no damage to speak of.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's ancient
Epicenter will get a kill.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
So this game started to go one way in the laning phase. The farming certainly was towards the advantage of the Optimates. That didn't put them completely out of it, but it made it harder. And once the snowball got rolling on Slark, there wasn't a whole lot to combat it. And the Optimates managed to ride that wave to victory. Gonna pick up this one. Relias Gaming going to drop it. So that was our last of our round 4 matchups. Round 5 was actually already partially underway before we started this, so we'll be able to finish up with our round 5 play and the final of the group stages in very shortly.
Round 5 is pretty much done too, so right now we're going to go on break until 4 o'clock when the set finals.
Okay, and I'm just hearing that, as I said, the bunch of multiple round 5 games have already been played. Sounds like we're going on break now, so we'll be coming back with the semifinals in about an hour. Half hour? Half hour. See you then.